Hello, I'm Susan, and today I wanted to share with you the incredible transformation that a little varnish can give your paintings. Lately, I've been working on a series of what I call messy flower gardens, and so I have a few of my recent paintings here, and some of them I have finished with my gloss varnish. This one, in fact, has been finished, and you can see the color is quite rich and vibrant. And I have one more that I have varnished. Let's see, it goes this way, I think. And you can see the rich color. It almost looks wet. The colors are very true. These are acrylic paintings, and so those are ready to put on the market. But I also have a couple here I've done more recently, and I have YouTube videos if you want to watch the process of doing these. They start out as collages. I tear up messy paintings and put them back down and then work on them some more with my acrylics. But this is an example of one that has not been varnished, and I think you can see up here that especially the darks have gone rather flat and not very vibrant. I have one more that I want to show you. This one too is one that is most recently done, and you know, the colors are pretty, but I think you'll see in this video that I'm about to show you, I'm going to varnish these so that you can see the difference before and after. When I varnish, I like to use the softest brush I can. I even saw a teacher of mine use a very beautiful sable watercolor brush, a wide sable watercolor brush. In this case, I have a varnishing brush made by Robert Simmons. It's a 2-inch brush, but here's what I really like about a varnishing brush. I like a lot of very fine, soft bristles. And when I have varnished with this, I really take great care. I use Murphy's oil soap to wash this, and I usually wash it a couple of times and allow it to dry. You always dry your brush flat like this. You don't want it to tip up on something on diagonal, because the water will run down into the handle of the brush and it will crack the varnish. So you dry it with a paper towel or a cloth and you lay it flat. And if the varnish has caused any stiffness at all, go back in with hot water and more Murphy's oil soap and wash it so that you can have a really nice soft, and so that the varnish never runs down into close to the ferrule. When I dip my brush, I only dip it about halfway in, because I don't want the varnish to start to cake down around the ferrule and become hard. It will lose this wonderful pliability. Now, I don't go to this length for my brushes that I paint with acrylics. That's not nearly as important, but the varnishing, you want to be able to apply your varnish without many streaks, and you want to have a nice soft brush for varnishing. So the product I'm using today, and one that I've really appreciated, my friend Pam told me about this. This is Minwax acrylic, polyacrylic, and I always use a clear gloss for my initial coat, which brings up the luster of the color. Now, you don't need to finish with the gloss coat if you don't like glossy. If you like your finishes more satin or matte, like I said before, that's fine. Now I'm going to get rid of a little bit of this dried on varnish around the lip, and I'm going to stir it. You don't want to stir very aggressively, just very gently stir it from the bottom. You don't want to form any bubbles. Just mix it gently in case anything has settled to the bottom. And I'll clean off my stir stick. Set this aside. Now, when I varnish, I just dip it in maybe an inch, and I keep quite a lot of the varnish. I don't wipe it on the lid, on the can. And I bring it the whole way across and off the painting. I'm putting quite a lot of varnish on here. The idea is to not put a minimum amount. You want to put a nice, generous buildup of varnish. Now you can already see the difference between the colors. You'll be able to see it particularly in these darker greens. See that? Wow, that's exciting to me. And the depth of color will remain even if you decide to put a different sheen, matte or satin varnish on as a second coat. Maybe you don't like this gloss. Well, you don't have to keep it, but it's advisable to at least put one coat of it on. I'm going slowly because I don't want to create any bubbles. I'm going back over it with my paintbrush quite loaded. Going off the side. I don't want ridges. I don't want streaks. I don't want bubbles. Now, I consider this done for this particular coat. And when this is dry, probably in 15-20 minutes, maybe 30 minutes, I will turn this painting 90 degrees and I will apply another coat. So that will be a perpendicular coat, just like the one I applied. I do that because I feel like 2 coats of varnish is a nice amount for a painting. It preserves it and it allows the owner of the painting to come to it and wipe it down with a damp cloth and do no damage to the color or the surface. I feel like it gives it a really good, tough surface, and you don't need to put glazing, glass or plexiglass over top. It's good to go. In this case, this is painted on a cradled birch wood board. It's a 12-inch board, and I will be able to wire this for hanging, or there's an option of putting it in a frame. And show you once again the difference before and after. I'll pull this down so you can watch me a little bit better. See, I'm still only getting about an inch of varnish on my brush. I'm not wiping very much off. I just don't want it to drip as I pull it across. Just knocking off the drips. Okay, so here I go. Try that again. I'm going in for more because I want lots of varnish on this. Now, it's loaded up with quite a lot of varnish, so I'm going to swing my brush right off so that I don't leave a pile of varnish on this edge. If I keep painting and take my brush right off the board, it will not build up along the edge. And I think you'll be able to see the difference in vibrancy, particularly in the dark passages. So I'll bring this down a little bit more so you can see how much varnish I'm leaving on my brush. Quite a bit. Okay, just a little to go, but I want you to see the difference here in vibrancy. You can really tell right in here. It's as though these darks have gone dead. And I don't use black in my mixes, so these are mixed grays and neutrals and dark greens. And even still, they go rather dead. Okay, so let me just rebrush this so that I feel like it's evenly done, moving it right off the board. And there you go. I think that has made quite a difference. I haven't yet decided which way is up in this abstracted landscape. I guess I'll decide another day. Thank you for joining me. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, and we'll see you next time. Thank you for joining me. I appreciate your tagging along and watching me varnish. It made a big difference in those paintings, didn't it? So I hope you'll choose to subscribe to my YouTube channel and join me in my classes sometime. My website is down below, and I always have classes going on virtually and in person, usually in the greater Houston, Texas area. Let me hear from you. And thanks again for joining me.